Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on, true believers? Welcome to the Believes Crypto Show. My name is Believes. We're here to talk about this crazy crypto world, but we can't because we've got crazy stuff going on. Did you know that China is about to invade Taiwan? Yeah, me either. I didn't know that either. But from anybody who's trying to spooky scare me, that's what I'm being told, that China is getting ready to attack Taiwan. However, there is a monkey wrench thrown into the process because here, and by the way, this is going to get incredibly interesting right here. You know what? Let me just show it to you. That way you can see. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Thank you so much for subscribing. So in the shadow of China, Taiwan is building a drone army to stop an invasion. Okay. China invades Taiwan on screen on the island of the Kinmen in the Twine Strait. Taiwanese soldiers are marching through a dark tunnel. The enemy is landing. I don't know what this is. Trump administration told Taiwan's president to avoid U.S. stopover. China is preparing to invade Taiwan, but there are questions over whether the island is ready. How China could take Taiwan without firing a shot. These are, by the way, this is the last couple of days. Okay, now there are some reports along the way. That say that China's not even ready for a war, that China has they're not even prepared for whatever is coming. That's kind of crazy, right? So we're going to be watching this. I'm so scared. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so scared because for whatever reason makes you feel like, oh no, spooky ooky. That's exactly what I mean. So we'll see what happens there. But in the big news that's affecting us, Taiwan, by the way, did get a tariff. This is the full list of tariffs that have gone. This is Trump's August tariffs right now. Brazil, 50%, Canada, 35%, China, Mexico, European Union, 30, 25, and 15, respectively. Syria with a large one, Taos, Myanmar, Switzerland, Iraq, Serbia, Algeria, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Libya, South Africa. Everybody's got a tariff of, whatever percent, so all the way down to page 5 here, UK has a 10% tariff, South Korea, a 15% tariff. So the tariffs are active, but I don't think they're a big deal. But you should remember that they are out here messing around with the economy. How are they messing around with the economy? Well, non-farm payroll growth was 73,000 against an expectation of 147,000. Now, here's where I'm going to tell you guys, if you are true MAGA, you're going to have to take the clown nose off and the grease paint, stop clowning, and you're going to have to listen to me, okay? If you're saying that Jerome Powell missed the mark, by the way, Jerome Powell did miss the mark. I do think that we should have had a rate cut. But if you're saying that the reason and that the proof is in this farm payroll going down, then let me clue you in on a little something as the kids on the street said in the 90s. I don't know. Sometime it was something, whatever. But look, I'm going to show you. I just look. Get prepared because, by the way, if you are, like I said before, if you're like ultra MAGA and like everything he does turns to gold and he touches and bankruptcies don't count and, whatever it is, okay? Whatever it is. Let me just say to you that These numbers that I'm going to give you right now are not numbers that I made up, okay? This is the numbers from the Trump administration. The Trump administration just adjusted these numbers. I want to say that one more time. The Trump administration just adjusted these numbers. When I say to you, you got lied to, the reason that I'm going to bring this up, you know what? Let me preface this with this. This is the reason that we have trust issues, okay? I got this from a friend of mine this morning. It says, breaking, White House newsroom erupts as Caroline Leavitt drops 10 consecutive bombshells in historic 35-minute briefing. You know what I mean? You know what it is. You know what it is. Now, is it true? Okay. Trump has been secretly brokering peace deals. 6 wars ended in 6 months, including Thailand and Cambodia. Okay. Israel and Iran, India and Pakistan, and more. 1 peace deal per month since taking office. Israel and Iran are still, guys. Are we not seeing listen with the words. Just listen. Big Pharma ultimatum. 17 CEOs received letters directly from Trump. They have 60 days to implement international drug pricing or face every tool in our arsenal. Eli Lilly letter read verbatim on podium September 29 deadline. So, by the way, if you guys remember Martin Shkreli, this was the guy that charged you tons of money for the diabetes medication. Joe Biden put a cap on it of like $17. Donald Trump, by the way, got rid of that cap. So you're paying a little bit more right now. You will ultimately probably pay as the same amount or less, but $200 million White House ballroom construction begins September. Oh, they spent $200 million for a ballroom. Pelosi mission. Pelosi exposed. How does by the way, look, I'm not a supporter of Nancy Pelosi. I think she's a horrible person. But what's worse than that is somebody who has to lie about a horrible person. 174K salary, but 400 million net worth. What's her husband, Paul, worth? I mean, and by the way, Caroline, by the way, Donald, don't go to his house with a hammer, but just tell me, how much is he worth? Her portfolio grew 70% in 2024, outperforming Warren Buffett. Now, that should be a problem, but to say that they're $413 million net worth, I mean, listen, Melania is a billionaire. Right? Now, we know that's not true. We know that she's married to somebody who purports to be a billionaire, and I believe at this point should be a billionaire, and probably is when you add crypto in, because I think that they've done a really fantastic job in cryptocurrency right now. So they've accumulated a lot. They've been given a lot. He's got $1 billion coin right now, or token, I guess. But, so we could say that, yeah, Melania is a billionaire. How did Melania, who is a model who barely speaks English and hasn't done any work in 30 years, become a billionaire? How did that happen? Do you see what I'm saying? That's the ridiculous stupidity that you're getting out of people. Now, the Gaza mission, special with Ambassador Huckabee with direct humanitarian assessment, major shift in Middle East approach. This is important, by the way. This is the one thing that we should be looking at and saying, oh, wait, you know what? This is actually a really, really good thing. They are on their way to Gaza because they, finally they're recognizing, Israel is probably overstepping its bounds a little bit, and that we are creating a humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and we need to do something about it. So they're going to do something about it, which is a very good thing. What will the Trump administration do? Probably something ridiculous and stupid, but maybe not. Maybe we'll see them say, you know what? We've looked around, we've seen this, and there's absolutely no way that this is going to continue. And that would be awesome. Midnight deadline, 200 countries scramble as reciprocal tariff. 200 countries are scrambling. Guess what? Nobody has made a deal. There's only the 5 countries that made deals already. Nobody else is scrambling. Nobody else is making deals. There's no announcements. We've been told 90 deals in 90 days. We're at 120 days. There's 5 deals. Okay. So they're being dishonest with you. They're being dishonest with you to pump their bags and to pump the charts. And that's not how you conduct business, or at least it should not be how you conduct business. We have a problem when a crypto does that to us and pumps our bag for no reason. We have a problem with that because we don't want to see that downward momentum. But when the government does it, we're like, hey, MAGA. That's ridiculous and stupid. Brown University surrenders $50 million fine and all trans surgeries on minor. I'm not going to weigh in on this one. But it adopts this is a complicated one for me. I'll call you whatever you want to be called, but I don't think you'd be playing in alternative sports or something like that. I think the men's division of every Major League Baseball, NBA, NFL, I think every one of those should be open divisions. Man or woman can play in there, and I believe they already are, by the way. And I think the women's division should just maintain themselves as biological women at birth organizations. My opinion, but I don't care what anybody does because it really is not going to affect me. Presidential fitness test returns to all American schools. This, by the way, is the second of the 10 things. This one to me is amazing. The one caveat to this one that I'm going to say is, Jesus Christ, do not have a 78-year-old Triple H stand outside the White House and do his time to play the game thing, because it looks ridiculous. And by the way, I say that with this in my mind. Triple H is my favorite wrestler of all time, okay? In terms of WWE, WCW wrestlers, whatever, that is my number one guy, okay? So I'm saying that as probably a huge fan of Triple H. Please, for the love of God, don't do that shit outside the White House anymore. You look ridiculous. You're too old for it. That time has passed. Let's just focus on standing at the podium doing your thing. You know what I mean? Because Hulk Hogan got booed. You know what I mean? And that's an icon. Got booed for silly stuff. So don't do silly stuff to get yourself booed or to make me go, ew. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't do it. And I could, but I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? So don't you do it. Now I'm going to get off my soapbox. All right, there we go. Just kidding. So, yes, I've had no coffee today, by the way. For anybody who's wondering, no coffee. I just run this kind of wild. So anyway, you get this right here, which leads to this right here. Okay, what I'm saying is that the administration continues to be dishonest with you about so many different things. And you say, oh, well, they do everything they say is for real. Okay, well, U.S. non-farm payroll rose 73,000 in July of 2025, following a downwardly revised 14K in June. Now, the initial report in June, where Anthony Pompliano, all of these different people, all of these MAGA cult members, they said, oh, look at this, it's working, it's working, it's working. No, you were being lied to and you shared a lie. How does it feel, Anthony Pompliano, to know that all you're doing is sending manufactured lies to people? And by the way, we always get adjustments and stuff like that, but remember who's taking the data. Trump administration. Remember who's adjusting the data? Also the Trump administration. They don't think that you're going to look, okay? Now, let me also say this, okay? You put this all together. And we initially had 147 jobs, which was which was put down to 14K, and May was also revised down 125. By the way, let me give you a clear number here. The report in May was also 125. So why is Jerome Powell the problem? Okay, the Trump administration has lied to you for 2 straight months in May and June about the number of jobs. In 2 months, they reported 272,000 jobs. They reported 272,000 jobs. They just changed it to only 14,000 over 2 months. Now, had the administration been honest with you in the beginning, Jerome Powell would have been forced to do a rate cut. Does that not make sense to anybody? Are we not listening to what's happening here? The Trump administration is going to have to do a better job of data collection and then distribution of data. It needs to be more. And by the way, I say that knowing we always have corrections. We have situations where Joe Biden reports 200,000 jobs and it's revised down to 150,000. That's still 150,000 jobs. We literally had no growth in 2 months, but the Trump administration, because their need was to make Donald Trump look good, were, fluffing the numbers And now it gives people like Jerome Powell a sense of security. And now here we get the numbers are being adjusted and reported down. And now the numbers are net zero. And if they were net zero for the last couple of months and only 73,000 for this month, Jerome Powell would have been forced to do a rate cut. And by the way, the reason that I'm bringing this up again is because when it was reported 147,000 was the expectation. We only got 73,000. Guess what? That 73,000 most likely is going to be adjusted down by the Trump administration. We're not creating any new jobs, but we're telling everybody everything is fine. We got to do better, because if we want rate cuts, that's how you get rate cuts. The labor market starts to weaken. I mean, what the fuck? Like, just be, you guys are seeing this, right? It's not just like, I'm not crazy. You know how I feel, but I mean, come on. Also, y'all want to see a dead body? Look at this shit right here. If corruption is weighing you down, just fall. Elizabeth Warren. This is Elizabeth Warren live last night on the Senate floor. Whoops. Sorry, bitch. Is that not awesome? Is that not awesome? If corruption is weighing you down, just fall. If corruption is weighing you down, just fall. Jesus Christ. Oh, I hate that woman. Anyway, these are my predictions. Again, I want to give you these one more time. Bitcoin to 170,000, ETH to 6,500, LUNC to 2027, DEVI to $50, OM to $8, Solana to 800. Cardano is going to stay $1, just like stable coins do. XRP 25, VET to 30 cents, Ondo to $4, Pendle to $9, SWI to $9. The reason that I'm bringing this up right now is I'm going to be adding some more to this link and to this list. So if you want to follow that, then I'm going to put the link in the description right here, or not in the description, but into the chat right now. So if you would like to, then you can click on that right now, or you can highlight it, do whatever, and you can get over there to that link and you can check it out. Now let's talk about DeFinity, the DVP solution overview. Now, what we were talking about yesterday, what I said was we were going to talk about the white paper, but I'm trying to break this down because DeFinity, to me, the more I look at it, the more excited I get about it. And I thought it's very important. It's very important to understand, like, what does a crypto do? DeFinity as a crypto solution, there's the solution overview, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about, let's talk about the first thing right here, okay? Crypto and FX product covers. And for those of you that don't know what FX is, that's Forex, that's foreign exchange. So what it says is this is an institutional grade order matching and settlement service with global coverage. DeFinity is built on institutional grade technology, offering unprecedented digital assets. By the way, the reason that we're bringing this up, guys, we are getting into the bull run, right? We're getting into where altcoin season is inevitable. When altcoin season becomes inevitable, then we have to find projects that we think have an opportunity. Really, in this, by the way, real world assets, DPIN, TradFi, those are the hot buttons, in my opinion, that are going to matter a lot. And the reason for that is because people are going to be looking for safety, and then they're going to be looking for that next big thing that ties us into a world currency, into a world economy that helps us ease the transition over here. So DeFinity is built by institutional grade technology, offering unprecedented digital asset market access to globally leading financial institutions seeking to diversify their portfolio. And you can do this with all of these different denominations of currency. Also, through our parent company, DMA Link, we provide access to liquidity and depth of up to 12 levels in the Forex spot market, and the capability to fill trades across 60 plus CLS and non-CLS currency pairs in large tickets and during times of market volatility. What this really means is that you're talking about crypto becoming your stock assets and your spot market and your financial, you're trading based on your stable coins, and you're trading your oh my god, what about currencies? You're trading currencies, and guys, a lot of money is made by trading currencies. So crypto to crypto trades are settled within minutes of receipt of cleared assets using Fireblocks or any client specified and whitelisted wallet. Fiat settlement can be made typically on the same day subject to bank cutoff times without size restrictions, subject to due diligence and KYC. All trades are settled on a DVP basis. So that's your trading solution overview. Now, this is your digital asset and foreign exchange product coverage. Then you have your over-the-counter trading solution overview, OTC. DeFinity clients can submit orders via API, GUI, and voice chat. All quotes and orders are subject to our agreements. Following the opening of a live trading account, clients can request quotes for crypto symbols and FX trades using an approved electronic communication channel with our OTC desk. And then that's where you go to buy cryptos OTC. That's over the counter for anybody who doesn't know. And the reason that you want to do that is because you don't want to affect the price outcome. And in fact, you can use this as an arbitrage opportunity. For example, if you're able to buy right now, Bitcoin on the OTC desk at 114,000, let's say, then you've got $1,000 right there in arbitrage, or $1,400 in arbitrage opportunity if you can find a buyer at 15,400. So there are you're going to see a lot of volume. You're going to see a lot of trading happening on places like this because it's going to be easy money for the right bots to make. But you can do this right immediately, and they've got an OTC counter. Crypto and flat rail solution overview. I meant to say fiat. Oh my God. The solution by creating DeFinity market considerations, the DeFi market execution. DeFinity offers access to liquidity across all major digital assets, including stable coins. The DeFinity ECN provides trading access to Bitcoin, ETH, USDT, USDC. Matic Cross is supported by our integrated fiat on and off ramp gateway. We provide a fully integrated EMOMS solution. Simplify crypto trading and enjoy easy conversion between cryptocurrency and fiat. And that's really what we need, right? We really need to have the ability to transfer our cryptocurrency into fiat. Now, the one thing that I will say about this is that I think this is going to rapidly evolve, and they're going to be able to take advantage of this because every bank is putting out their own stable coin. We're going to start to see a lot of different stable coins. We're going to be transacting money in stable coin going into the future. So if you're doing British pounds or euros or yen, whatever you're doing, you can convert it immediately into some type of fiat using the DeFinity protocol. So there's going to be a very big need for a project and a product like this for integration. So these are incredible opportunities. We're going to get to the last three tomorrow or on Monday. But in the meantime, so we look at the chart right here, we get an idea. Now we've had a sell-off. But remember, this was a launch that just happened. So we've got that downward pressure, that downward momentum. What we're looking for at this point, what we're looking for right now is we're looking for some confirmation of a bullish narrative and a bullish reversal. And look, this thing is taking a while. OTC. We don't get the OTC, by the way, until Monday. He is no longer on Friday nights. The team at DEFX is great, by the way. So let's talk about value. What kind of value is being added? First of all, we want to look at this, and we don't want to get tricked on the chart for momentum. Now, I do think that we have positive momentum in the market in general. But as you see right here, and right here, we had this little fake out. You could even consider that as a little bit of a fake out right there, where it looked like we had established a more bullish narrative and that it was upward momentum that was getting ready to happen. It didn't happen, didn't break out. But then we got this candle, and then we got all of this. And that is clearly showing another uptrend. Now, it's happening at a time where the market is starting to dump a little bit. Now, we're down $19 billion on the day. The data that came out was not looking that great. Now, because of that, I think that we're leaning into something that, again, has an incredibly bullish sort of narrative, is clearly showing a nice little uptrend, has some consolidation going on. We're going to throw the Bollinger Band out. I'm going to suspect that it's getting a little bit tighter than it was before, and it is starting to tighten just a little bit. Now, this candle of sell-off today has opened it up a little bit, so we could expect maybe some continuation of this. What I would like to see would be a move into this range right there at 2.7 cents. Would like to stay above that. That would be a good sign. We stay above that, then I would see it breaking back out up here to the top of this range to 4.5 or 5 cents. And then we could talk about what would be the breakout. Now, let's go look at two things. First of all, we're going to look at the market cap. And I lost everything that I did here. Like, what the fuck is going on? DEFX, very low market cap. Like, this is a great opportunity, in my opinion. Okay, great opportunity. We're talking about a $5 million fair dollar value market cap. Okay, now, what am I telling you that this does? This is your fiat on an off ramp. This is allowing you OTC. This is allowing you to trade fiat currencies using digital asset. This is the important part, using digital assets. This is a digital economy. So what is that worth? Well, in a normal market, it's just a matter of being found and discovered. And then once you're found and discovered, then it's going to go absolutely crazy. So we're going to look at their tags over here. We're going to get an idea of, remember they tag things over here. Ethereum ecosystem, BNB. You know what? That's it's not going to be that. So let's go over here and let's go to categories. And we're going to do RWA. All right. So RWAs, here we start at number 12 here. We got Stellar at 12 billion, Chainlink 11 billion, Hedera. These are in the billions. Okay. So what we're looking at would be an institutional grade lender. Okay. Institutional grade lenders right now, Pendle is a good one right there as an example. So let's just say that the opportunity there is a $663 million market cap. And let's call that a top. All right. That is, I want to say that is about, what's that, 100x away, 120x, 125x away. That is a huge number from where you are right now. But let's take this a step further. What did I tell you my prediction was for Pendle? And I gave you a $9 prediction for Pendle. So it's my estimation that Pendle is going to end up at a 1.5 billion market cap. So from where we are right now, you're talking about a 300x. So what I'm going to tell you is that the top for in my opinion, for this market, because this is going to happen very fast, the top of this market would be 1.5 billion market cap for DeFinity over the next, and by the way, I'm not saying forever. I'm saying like in the next 60 days. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's where we are in the market, that we're about to have this blow off moment. Now, if they do a great job of marketing, if they find some institutional grade partners, if they get a bunch of different things that start to happen on the fly, then you could see something like that happen. All right. Now, otherwise, what is the low end of value? 50 to 100 million. And if that were to happen, you're still talking about a 20x. So it is my estimation, only my estimation, that there is a great opportunity here for you. But before you do anything, go do some research, look for yourself and decide for yourself if this is the investment for you. I am a holder. I'm going to be a holder. I hold DeFinity. I hold Devi. I hold OM. I have a bunch of different cryptos that I hold that I think are going to just absolutely pop off. API 3, which I think that one's another one that's going to absolutely pop off, because that allows you to do stock trading through an API protocol that's faster and more efficient than Chainlink. So there's tremendous upside for a lot of these different projects. It's just a matter of getting in there, finding the narrative, and then riding that wave. Now, we are about 30 minutes late on it, but let's get into the blocks. We're having a dump right now on Hex and Pulse, which is expected. Saros up 7%. That's the only bright spot in the top 100 today. Again, a massive sell-off today. Not something that you want to see, but Trump administration told us that we had 272,000 jobs. Turns out it was only 14,000 jobs, and farm payroll was expected to be 147,000, and it was only 73,000, which means that we are not producing jobs. Now, because we had these deceptive sort of numbers out, Jerome Powell was not incentivized to reduce rates, so we did not get a rate cut. Now, because of those things, I think it is imperative right now, and it's incumbent upon the Fed to consider at least a 50 basis point rate cut going into the next market, because it is clear that we are starting to show some cracks in the U.S. economy. Okay. Now, there's also very little risk of a recession. So what I want to say is there are things right now that are looking bad, specifically in the jobs department, but that doesn't mean that there's anything necessarily wrong. Okay. Payroll participation was 62.3%. Last month, it's 62.2%. So people are not participating. And that could be just people with money, because remember, we're shaving. By the way, don't forget this. And I want to say this because I think this is important. I'm dumping on these numbers, but consider this. We also have an increase in I don't know if it's airline employment and medical facility employment. Those are up. Government work is down. Okay. So when we give you these numbers and you see those numbers, at least, again, I'm not trying to dump on the Trump administration because we need them for cryptocurrency. But the important thing to consider here is the numbers were not correct. And when they were adjusted, the numbers that caused it to come down were a lot of government jobs. So maybe it's not as bad as what I'm saying. Now, I'm actually thinking about it real time. I just got the numbers and I started thinking like, gross, but you know what I mean? So people who are asking for the DeFinity, if you're looking for the DeFinity contract address, it is, it's in the comments right now. That is the DeFinity contract address. All right. ZBCN hold 0.005 base, pretty good. Is that low? Guys, I think ZBCN is going to absolutely break out. All right. Blees voted for this, yet he thinks he is better than everybody else that did. Yes, 100%. 100%. Absolutely, 100%. Actually, my motto in life is like you, only better. How about that? If that doesn't annoy you as much as I'm always right, then I'll rewrite this to make it the most offensive thing possible, by the way. I'm not sold on any of that. Anyway, M is up 16% on the day. Plume is up 7%, but that's the only good wins happening right now. Baby up 10%, Xano up 7%, Sahara up 5%, Zora up 7%, SC's up 10.8%. GP, meme is up 15%, SHX up 7.5%, Banker 7.5%. So we're getting a little bit of movement, but again, most of it is just sell down. Eagle One, look at Eagle One, 75 million market cap. For nothing. Edge up 43%. Look, I got my pointer in Uranus. Ha 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 ha. It's because it's space humor. Uranus has a $50 million market cap. Ladies, gross. Anyway, that's about it. That's what we're seeing happen in the market. We are now down to 65. I thought it was 67 a little while ago. 65 in the fear and greed index. So we are starting to come down. We are in a corrective mode. Yesterday, we saw this move happen. Let me zoom just a tad here. We had a correction back up in a supply available on chain. I was wondering about why that was. Then I went and looked at we had outflow on the Bitcoin ETF yesterday of 115 million. Now, what about the Ethereum ETF, you ask? Yes, you did ask. I didn't tell you to ask. You asked. 17 million in the good. Again, this is one of my indications that we are still heading into altcoin season, and we're about to get blow-offs where we're about to get massive moves by Terra Luna Classic. We're about to get massive moves by DeFinity. We're about to get massive moves by DevE. We're about to get massive moves for all of these different cryptos. Like we're like a step away from a gigantic move coming. So it's not going to take that long, in my opinion, before we really get that breakout momentum and that escape velocity, if you will. Some of that escape velocity you can use to buy CC coin. Buy some CC cash today. Hold it for 10 days, receive a fat reward. It's really a no-brainer. And that's perfect for me because, as most people say, I have no brain. So perfect. This was a 2x value in 10 days. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. That's a lot. That is a lot. And what does it look like over here, by the way? Let's go take a quick look. By the way, DeFinity on the 1 hour after that little dump that we had is back up a little bit. Looks like it's starting to reverse. We might get a strong reversal from it. I don't know. It's still early, so we'll see what happens there. But Rocky AI is up to 30's 1405, up 33% in 24 hour. Weasel having a little bit of recovery, 10%. Puff down, MK down, everything else just kind of down on the day. Dev E was having a reversal a few minutes ago. This is on the 4 hour chart. Yeah, it had reversed from this 46 dump, huge downward momentum dump, went right back up to 55 cents and now is dumping even harder again. With that in mind, I would expect that we're probably going to see a bounce down to the lows one more time and a breakdown into this range if we don't get some positive momentum. Now, it looks like we've gotten potentially that big wick down there that we're always looking for to signify a strong bounce, but don't know yet. When we zoom out onto the daily, I think we're still undecided about bullish momentum right here, and it looks like right here. So it looks like the momentum is still positive, but if this breaks down and comes down into this range, then all positive momentum has been forfeit. So that doesn't mean that we're not going to go up, doesn't mean that there's not going to be a big move. Again, doesn't mean that it won't happen a couple months from now or a month from now or a couple days from, doesn't mean any of that. It just means that I'm looking for positive trends. And the positive trend right now, trend so far, trend up so far. So we are in a positive trend right now. But again, we'll see if it maintains. Hopefully it will. Blocky down 3%, TARS down 3%. By the way, guys, for anybody who's asking the question about TARS, or anybody who's asking the question about Blocky, or anybody who's asking the question about OM, or anybody who's asking the question about any other ones, I mean, fuck Moon, that's not doing anything. I got it on here because I got a bag of it, but it's not really doing shit. And then Aussie AI, that looks pretty fucking dead to me too. So I would just have it on here just because I'm holding like $40 worth. Going down the list here, though, anything that's down right now is because in the market, we've been getting sucked by. And what are you watching right now? Well, if you look at it, you're down 1.5% on ETH. You're down 1.5% on Solana. You've got some big dips that are happening right now. But guess what? Bitcoin is green today. And Bitcoin dominance is green today. And what did I tell you we needed to see? And look, I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong. I want, the most important part is, like, I hope that I get it completely and absolutely wrong. All right. And by the way, look at this. This is perfect on the daily. Look at this shit right here. Like, we dipped down. I made that line a couple days ago and we went straight down into that line. Now that does mean downward momentum. And I suspect that we're probably going to see, let me kind of pull this out just a little bit. It looks like we have a reversal. Maybe that reversal comes back up here. We test 118 one more time, but then we're going to come down here, and that wick right there, like that wick right there, is the one that I'm looking for. Now, let me tell you why. First of all, Bitcoin dominance, not high enough, I don't think, for us to have an altcoin season. I think that we need to get squeezed one more time. And by squeezed, I mean that Bitcoin needs to rip to 120, 130,000. And we need to get that dominance up here one more time before we have an actual breakdown. I don't think that we're in that spot for the breakdown yet. Now, the reason that I give you that is because CME futures, look at this. Son of a bitch, it got filled. Did I have that number wrong? Yeah, I did. It was 114,380. Ain't that a bitch? So I told you 2 days ago that we were probably going to come into this, that gap right there. God damn it. And the reason that I bring that up, guys, is what I was going to do is I was thinking that I was going to sell my Bitcoin long, and then I was going to set a buy order, but that buy order would come down to 112, come down to the top over here, that would be a healthy range. I still think that that's going to happen at this point because the bears have clearly taken over. I mean, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got on CME futures, we got 7 red candles. So you got a gap right there that needs to be filled at around 117. Like, let me put this on the 4 hour right here so you can see, like, where is the gap if there is one. Actually, there's not. All gaps were just filled. There it is. Guys, it was perfect, right? Like I'm a dummy. I was thinking that maybe we would come down into this range right here. And that would be an opportunity. Or this one right here, I think. Yeah, we would come and we would touch the top over here. I wasn't even thinking about that CME gap right there as the bounce spot, but clearly it got bought back up pretty heavy. So now the bulls are going to take back over. Maybe, I don't know yet. So yeah, we got a shit. I was looking to exit that Bitcoin long and get maybe, get some better skin in the game, if you will. Like I was hoping to get, maybe just cash out at 120 one more time, 118, something like that. And then just see, like, I want to see an enormous futures gap happen again, because I'm going to sell near the top and I'm just going to put my buy in at that futures gap location. As long as it looks reasonable, like this one did, missed that opportunity. So anyway, VeChain up a little bit on the day. XRP starting to move up on the day. Ethereum dumping on the day and continuing to dump. It just went down to 35.74. Solana down to 168. Again, volume is not looking great for Solana by comparison to Ethereum. And by the way, Bonk Fun. Look at this shit right here. Bonk Fun. I think this is right. Yeah, here you go. Look at this shit right here. Bonk Fun is now bigger than Pump Fun. Bonk Fun now leads Solana meme coin launch pads in monthly revenue, flipping Pump Fun. Look at how much money Pump Fun was generating through June into July, and then boom, it like fell off a cliff as everybody migrated over onto Bonk Fun. And of course, Bonk is much better. Is Bonk Fun setting a new standard for meme coins? Bonk Fun flipping Pump Fun shows how community-centric launch pads can upend incumbents and redefine. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, Bonk Fun has now supplanted Pump Fun. By the way, that when we say that, that is a good indication right now that, and people have said this over and over again, might be a good time to get you some Bonk. I don't know if that's the finish of the move right there, but again, if we're using the logic that I just gave you, where the top of that previous range right there is your buy, that's your buy spot, guess what? You're in your buy spot. So buy yourself some Bonk today and see what happens. Like I think that I think you could see just a nice little move back up here to test that all-time high. And then because Bonk is the narrative, you might even see it break out even more. Currently sitting at a $2 billion market cap. You never know, by the way, when the Solana Phone 3 is going to get announced as well. So I would look for this. You know what? As a matter of fact, let's put this on the watch list and see if we're right here. All right. So we buy zone. I'm putting this in here because we're going to buy some right now. Buy. I think that's the right price. Yeah, it's close enough to the right price. So we're going to go buy. Matter of fact, we're going to buy some Bonk right now. Still not doing it on my phone, or I'm still not doing it on my computer. That, you know what I mean? So we're going to buy a little bit of Bonk, and we're going to see what happens with it. If we get a nice little rip, then I guess we're going to buy some smack, Mr. Hat. Doobie, doobie, do. All right. So we got a little bit of Bonk, and I'm just gonna buy Bonk because of the like. I'm not worried about the Bonk Fun token. I'm not worried about that at all. The name Bonk being out there means that people are going to accidentally buy Bonk, which already has a $2 billion market cap, and we're going into altcoin season. So I think that's what I'm just going to buy it because the word Bonk is there, and we'll see what happens. All right. So that's it. We did it. We made it. All right, guys, that's the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Again, I'm going to buy some Bonk right here, or I just bought some Bonk right here. And I'm going to wait and see how this market sort of plays out. I mean, I think we're about to see, again, I think we're about to see a big surge in this market. Take out what take what I just said for what it's worth. The Trump administration told us 272,000 jobs. We actually only got 14,000 jobs. But government jobs were the biggest loss. So ultimately, you have to ask yourself, is that a good or a bad thing? Okay. Now, as you just saw, I got to be honest with you guys. As you just saw, my first impression was, oh my God, they lied to us about it. And the reason that I'm upset about that is very, very simple. Okay. Very, very simple. I want Jerome Powell to cut rates. And Jerome Powell was not incentivized to cut rates because the labor market was still strong. That's the numbers that we were given. That's the numbers that he uses. So that is, for me, kind of a pain right there. All right. And what I wanted to see is I wanted to see Jerome Powell incentivized to cut rates. And he was not, because the numbers were so high. However, now that we're seeing that they're government jobs, maybe that changes. Maybe that changes a little bit about the Fed. And had we not reported these ridiculous numbers that were not true, maybe Jerome Powell would have been incentivized to cut. So I'm a little bit upset, but also at the same time, I think it's good for America if we're losing a bunch of government jobs. Okay. Less people watching my wallet is awesome. I didn't mean that, government. Please don't come for me. I don't want to get Clinton. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you again.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world. I want to be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go.